Hello. Welcome to the channel. I am Nate, and this is Peach Domino Paper Crafts. So, what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to do October Oddities. Day 14 through 20. If you know what we're doing, we've been doing these tags for October Oddities all month. Erase that and get it out of the way. Finally got an eraser rag. And we've been going through this book and doing each tag as we go. But because I'm only doing it once a week, we do 7 at a time. So we finished off with day 13 last time, which was Spooky Tree. And we're going to move on now to day 14, which is Candy. You'll see that my pockets have nothing to do with what the prompt is. So we're going to set this book off to the side. But we're going to work on Candy. So I have my little fuzzy cuts and things that I want to use, that I know I want to use, and I have my background paper that I know I want to use to cover the tag. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to get my glue out, and a glue page. I forgot a glue page. The glue page is not quite big enough to do all the tag at once, but that's okay. We can move it around, right? I know everything's white right now, and it's hard to see against the white background. We will fix that. We're going to put some glue all over the tag. And the only thing I don't like about this glue is that it's not purple like my last glue. Trying it out. It's the Elmer's Craft Bond. We're trying it out to see if I like it better than the purple, disappearing purple. If you know about the different glues, the disappearing purple is a school glue. They also have a blue one. It goes on purple, but it dries clear, which some cases matters, some cases don't. Let me put that lid back on before I knock it all over the place some more. Okay, we got that. Now we're going to cut it out. I am going to pull out the paper cutter for this one. I'm just going to move a couple things so you're in vision there. Line it up as best we can. Cut it off. I bought these buckets at Lowe's. You can see there's small versions of the 5-gallon buckets. They're 0.42 quarts. Oh, and they're food safe. I didn't even know that. But I've got paper clips in them. But they sit on the back of my desk just out of camera frame. And they take up some room back there and kind of make things a little harder. I'm going to have to find somewhere else to put them. We're going to put our scraps over here. I'm talking very fast today, and I don't really know why, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's see. Cut that part off. More scraps. I'm going to do a video later that I'm going to put out sometime later this week about how I process my scraps, because I need to get some stuff done in that purple journal, and part of it's going to be scraps. And I'm just lining these up, and some scraps are too small for me to keep. Some people would keep this. I'm not. I just put it in my little desktop trash can here. I try to repurpose as much stuff as I can. Not just paper, but stuff. This is an old sour cream container that I got when I worked at a restaurant. And they're useful for so many things. I have hundreds of them, it feels like. I know I don't have hundreds of them for real, but it feels like I have hundreds of them. Okay, so we've got our candy background on. And I don't have a whole lot of candy here. So there's a couple of things we're going to do to kind of decorate this tag that'll make these candies stand out a little more. This is my favorite one. We're going to go over here and we're going to pull out my labels. These are not all my labels, these are just the most recent ones that I've cut out. So let's find some stuff that's going to make these labels kind of stand out, or these candies stand out a little bit against this very busy candy background that I made for some reason. I don't know why it's so busy, but I liked it, so I definitely want to put this arsenic one in because, you know, rotten candy, right? So we're going to put, I think we're going to put that right there. And we can put him here. And pop this up a little bit with foam dots. I think that's what we're going to do. I am, however, going to grab out my inks. I'm not talking very fast now. I can't find a good distance between talking too fast and not fast enough. I'm going to get, because this is candy related, even though it's supposed to be rotten candy, I'm going to get things like Salty Ocean and warm lipstick and maybe some spiced marmalade to give it, I got one sugar, but I don't think it'll show up on this, to kind of give it a little more of a friendly atmosphere, even though it's rotten candy. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. It made sense in my mind, if that helps. So I'm going to take the marmalade and get some on my ink pad, or my blender here. And we're just going to give it a go around. So you can't see a big difference, but you can see a little difference in it. Kind of brightens up the edges a little. Makes it a little brighter. Just going to give it a quick poof in the middle there. And we'll set that aside. And then our Salty Ocean. Come back here. We're going to use Salty Ocean on this. I think I'm going to do just a little bit of cutting here, so just give it a little trim so it's not just a blob of, oh hey, here's a block you cut out somewhere. A little of a tombstone shape there. And then go in with our Salty Ocean. Candyfy the edges. Yeah, I like that. And then we're at a dilemma. We have pink. It's more lipstick pink. This is green. I could go in, I think I'll go in with the peeled paint instead, which is really the only green that I've got, to be honest. I need to get some more inks. I think we're going to go in with this peeled paint and give the edge some depth here. Now, if you know anything about me and this series, you will know that I'm all about spending as little time as I can and still making this look really good, right? And they don't have to be overly elaborate. They don't have to be anything super special. I'm going to take this warm lipstick and go around the coffin here, just to make it more interesting, a little more candified. Yeah, just kind of blend in those edges and make it look a little more friendly, a little more inviting to kids, which is the point of candy, right? Candy on Halloween is all about getting the kids to trick or treat and have fun in their costumes, and we are spoiling that right here, because, you know, the old legends that about the razor blades and candy and such, none of that's true. The closest you ever got was one guy poisoned his own children with pixie sticks that he took out of their own bags once they got home. Because, let's face it, nobody likes your kids enough to give them free drugs. This will just play up that old legend. I think I like that. What do y'all think? Yeah, I'm going to use it like that. I like that. Okay, so we get our mess out of the way. And our glue page here. I'm using this glue a lot because I'm trying to figure out if I like it a lot. Now, this challenge is hosted by Crafty Dragon Creations and Lottie's Magic Attic. You can find both of their links in the description box below. It is a dual hosted event. Me and my cohorts on the Lottie's Magic Attic design team are being kind of like, we're collaborators in the sense that we are making these tags to give y'all some insight, some ideas, and just in general promote the event even more. You can win prizes. The rules for all that will be listed on the Crafty Dragon Creations and Lottie's Magic Attic Facebook groups. I forgot to pull out my dots, I'm sorry. I tried not reaching over y'all today, but it didn't work. Sorry. But in general, just come by and have fun. Post your creations, show us what you got. You guys are all so talented, and I love seeing what everybody does. We can all gain inspiration from each other. You don't have to just sit back and watch. You don't have to make and not share. We love to see everybody's creations. Even if you feel like your stuff is no good, post it, because I guarantee you it's better than you think it is. And when you post it and you get the encouragement, it makes you feel better about your work. Imposter syndrome is real in the creative community, especially. But show us what you got. Alright. Come on then. Never can get all these off on the first try. Oh, that one's not even stuck down very well. Come on. There we go. Just in case you didn't know, these little picker tools, which I got this one from Dollar Tree, and it is lasting me forever. They're pokey. Don't poke them. These little tools right here are essential for things like getting the backing off of the foam dots or off of stickers. Anything really. Alright, and then I'm just gonna do a little trimming here. I'm not gonna trim the arsenic part or the candy, but I did want to trim our skeleton. See, there's a spot right there that I didn't quite get. I don't know if that's because I didn't get it with the glue well or what. There's our candy. I'm gonna reach over here, grab the book, and everybody hold your breath. Oh, it went. Yay! And there's day 14. Alright, for this last page on the signature, day 15, we have Frankenstein. Now, it says Frankenstein, but we're going to do Frankenstein's monster, which is what everybody thinks of when you say Frankenstein. So, again, I have my goodies out. Let me put away my inks real quick. If you're wondering, I have the rough side of a Velcro dot on the back, and the ink blending pad just sits right on that. And that way I've always got the right blending pad for the color. Oh no! My lid ran away. You gotta be careful with those lids, sometimes they run away. And I have this case to store mine in. I think it's worth it, but it does take up a lot of room. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard you should store them upside down. I need to research that and find out, so I always store mine this way. Like I said, I don't know if that's true or not. Why do I have 2 tags? Oh, because I had this spare one sitting over here. I'm sorry. My mind is rambly. Okay. For Frankenstein's monster, I made another background sheet, which kind of looks like a zombie, but I like it. Oh my goodness, I did not get them lined up right. Is that me not getting them lined up right, or is that... I don't know. Because they look lined up in the face. So this could just be a mistake. And I apologize for that. That's why they're freebies, because I'm still working on that part. The glue pad. And the glue. Get the glue all over the tag. Top and bottom. Turn it around. Place it down. Burnisher. So those of you that have watched for a while, you know that my nephew was driving the car a couple of weeks ago and the hood flew up, knocked the hood off. I mean, it didn't knock the hood off, but it knocks the hood around and broke the windshield up at the top. Still drivable that way. But the hood was so messed up we had to get a new hood. Well, we finally found one this weekend. $125, which is a really good price, by the way. We had to drive an hour and a half to get it, but I have a truck, so that didn't bother me so much. This is why I think everybody should have a truck. If you do, you know, DIYs or your own automotive or ever need to move, And I'm not saying everybody should own a big truck. I don't own a big truck. I own, I own the larger size of the old Ford Rangers, not the new ones. Those new ones are not Rangers. That's not what they were supposed to be. Rangers were supposed to be good economy trucks. Light trucks. All these new trucks are heavy trucks, and I don't like that. I would like to have a heavy truck because of the amount of moving I do, but for me, the light truck works. And you can rent a truck, you know, if you ever need to. But if you're going to be doing things like this all the time, I think it's worth it to get a truck. That's just my opinion. Plus, when we do grocery shopping, we always take the truck because the car does not offer enough room to haul everything we need. Because every 2 weeks we have to buy 4 cases of water, which takes up a lot of room. Okay, we have Frankie's Monster here. But I don't like the coloring on it. I wish I'd done a different color. It's okay. I'm going to go really simple on this one. I'm not going to use these two. These are great ones from, I believe these two were from Oddities Magic Attic. But I'm not going to use these ones because I have a plan. I am going to take these 2 angry villagers and put them out to chase Frankie down, and then put Frank down here oogling his face in a mirror or something. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay, I'm gonna round these corners on these villagers because there's just something wrong about these squares with me today. Oops, didn't even get that one in there right. And now it's messed up forever. That's okay. We'll put him over here so maybe he'll get covered up a little bit. I am not going to round the corners on Frankenstein because his corners are going to get cut off anyway. Yeah, his corners are going to get cut off, so I'm not going to worry about that. I am going to have the mob right there like that. I think I like that, and I'll find a tag or something to put on. So let's go ahead and find a tag or something to put on. May 23rd, 1889 or 1819. We can pop that up right there so that we know what day Frankenstein's monster was chased around by villagers. I like that. Kind of give this tag a story. A little bit, somehow. But anyway, the point of my story is we found the hood. It's sitting out beside the house. I had to go buy sockets because I didn't have any sockets. But now we have sockets. Well, my wife has sockets. They're going in her car. And then it was raining all weekend, so I couldn't change the hood. So hopefully we can get that done this week. And then next payday we have to get a tire because driving the vehicle back after the hood flew up, which was an ordeal, by the way. We tied it down and all kinds. It was just a mess. I ran over something in the breakdown lane, and now there's a flat tire. I glued my villagers too high. Let's see if I can unglue my villagers real quick. I got a little working time with this stuff. That's not too bad. I can handle a little working time. There. I might like this glue after all. Okay, put that away. Get my label. That That wasn't my label. Where'd it go? There it is. Label and my foam dots. I can use this last big foam dot. Do that over. And then use these little foam dots. One here and one here. My dogs are staring at me. I don't know why. They do that. They're weird. I think one of them's sick today. He's been a little lethargic today, but he'll get over it. He's a good boy. He gets sick quite a lot, actually. I don't know what he gets into, but he used to get sick once a week, and it was horrible. He'd spend a day, you know, just lethargic and sometimes expelling fluid, but he'd be back over it within a day or two. Alright, now I want to trim down these. Boy howdy, am I trimming through the tag itself here? Because looks like I probably was. Anybody got big plans for Halloween? We're going to take a trip to Houston, spend the day, see what they've got on offer. There it goes. I'm on air, so it must be tire time. Alright, and we got Frankenstein done. It is day 15. And we get to move into the new signature. Look at there. Ready? Let me bring out the new signature. Ignore that noise. Ta-da! Day 16. We have Monster. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Let me put away these little Frankenstein bits. And this little candy bit. We don't want to lose that. We might want it later. Okay. Here's my little pack of monsters. Got quite a few of them. I do dig monsters. And I made this brightly colorful paper to go with it. You can find these papers. They're going to be a freebie that I'm releasing. By the time you're seeing this video, they will be up on my Facebook for free. As part of my October giveaways, October 2025 giveaways. Because I forgot to release on Friday, I'm giving out a whole pack of them. All the ones you'll see in this video will be in it. Well, let's be honest, that's all that's going to be in it, is the backgrounds you see on this video. But there's already a few freebies on my site, or my Facebook, if you want to go check it out. And I wanted to talk about some business stuff. So, a friend of mine recently talked to a CPA and decided to move back to Etsy because Etsy handles all the international sales tax, VAT, and all of that, where Ko-fi does not. Ko-fi, you have to do it yourself. And of course, there's software you can get to do that. You just have to set it up and all those things. So I had to think about some things and decide whether I was going to stay on Ko-fi or switch to Etsy. And Etsy takes care of all that stuff for you. However, Etsy fees are ridiculous. They charge you to set up a new shop, whereas I've already got a shop, so I don't have to worry about that. They charge you for listing fees every single month. Whether you sell anything or not, you list it, you pay for it. And I went through this on my previous sales agenda where I was selling miniatures. I could not afford to list everything every month, and that made me miss out on sales. And what I mean is, back then it was what, 5 cents a month, I think, 35 cents a month. I think it was 5 cents a month to list, and I would have hundreds of items to list. But when your sole income is miniatures, which is a niche product, and I'm not talking about dollhouse miniatures. Think role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, or war games like Warhammer, those kinds of things. You can't list hundreds of things if that's your sole income, because you're not making enough money to list it. So I had to quit selling my miniatures. With Etsy, the amount it costs per sale, per listing, is quite prohibitive if you're not selling stuff immediately, if things don't get sold immediately. So I'm going to stick with Ko-fi, guys. I will find whatever software I need, set it up how I need, which I need to do anyway. I'm trying to figure out what kind of monsters I want. That's not a monster. Because I have these monsters labeled or surrounded in blue, and I have these cutesy ones. I think I'm going to put this one here. And I got a bunch of monsters in the background, so I believe I'm gonna pop up my monsters that I put on this. I'll put this one here. And I think I'm gonna put him, I really like him, in the middle. Yeah, and I think I'll save the rest of these monsters. But yes, I will remain on Ko-fi. Once I start making, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to remain on Ko-fi for now. But I don't know if I'll ever go anywhere else. I'm sure eventually I'll set up my own website or something, depending on what all I do. Right now, it's mostly digitals. If I finish one, I will be putting journals up for sale. But since it's almost entirely digitals right now, I don't feel the need to worry about the future as much. I have plans for the future with my shop, but whether I'll get to them or not, we will see. I may just make everything I do digital. Like, not the journals. It's hard to make those digital. But the kits, you know, they may stay digital. And, yeah. But, Ko-fi. Check out my kits. They're up there. I'm gonna put a few labels in and sort some things. But they're up there. They're not going anywhere. I said that poker was essential, and it is, because that takes a lot of time. And then I just start peeling paper with my fingers. Get off. I'm trying to think what else to talk about, guys. After I finish this video, I've got one more video to film, which will go out later this week. And I'm sure most of you know that a lot of creators film a week or two's worth of videos in a couple of days and then spend the rest of the week doing other things. Those that don't know, now you know. That's how it's done. Because we're busy people. Just like you're busy people. You know, we've got jobs to do. Whether that be an outside job or working on our shop or organizing our space for the 947,000th time with this one new container we bought. Speaking for a friend. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of creators will do multiple videos a day. Where am I at? Oh, I'm doing good. Just don't think about it, because it's a normal process and you're getting the same videos which you enjoy brought to you on your schedule. Well, our schedule, but the schedule. We're putting one on this guy. But I am going to do something. One thing. Because I've propped all my monsters up. But he's my centerpiece. So I'm going to put a second piece of tape on it to give him a little bit of extra elevation above the crowd. How do we feel about this? I like it, so I mean, we're gonna call that good for monster. Hold your breath. He fits. He fits. Yay! Okay, I'm going to take these little pile of trash here. Throw that away. Clean up our little frontage here. And move on to day 17. And for day 17 we have cauldron. Now, cauldron I'm going to do a little bit differently. I don't have a big background paper for cauldron. I have this. This is a witch's cottage. So we're going to take our cauldron page. It is a little bit small. That's okay. We can do a little bit of trimming. I thought I made it tall enough, but I guess I did not. I'm going to do a little trimming. It'll be fine. We're going to take our cauldron, our tag, and glue it up. Move it. And glue the bottom. Put it over here. And go just a little bit high at the top. Straight as we can. Glue it down. Okay. Now the first thing I'm going to do is trim the bottom and the top to fit the scene. Glue it back down because it came up. I didn't burnish it though, so that might be part of it. Burnish it a bit so we know we missed our trim. retrim. Okay, and then once we've got our retrim, we go in and start cutting the edges off the back to make it fit our tag. And you're thinking, Nate, why are you using that tag? Why not use a different shape? Well, these tags were provided for us, well, digitally of course, and they fit the pocket. So these are the ones I'm going to use because these are the ones I like. I'm still not 100% sure if being a coffin shape is a requirement, but I like it anyway. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I like that a lot. So, we have a couple things we can put in here. We have a couple different cauldrons. Let me cut this one some because I love this one, but I want it to fit in. Yeah, we can put that right there. I'm gonna color that witch's brew label though. I don't like it as is. So I'm gonna get out my vintage photo. I am not gonna get out my blender because I don't need it for this. But I will tell you, my fingers are about to get really dirty, so if you don't want to do it this way, then definitely use gloves or a blender. But in order to get each part and make sure that it's got the right amount of grunge on it, don't like that it's a regular piece of paper. I always try to print everything on cardstock now. A lot of these were printed before I did that. So that's part of the problem. But there, grunged it up. Make it fit in a little bit better. My fingers did get near as dirty as I thought they would. Okay, so we got that. We got our cauldron that we're going to pop up. We're just going to glue this part down as is, no popping. Glue it right there. And I'm using a lot of pop dots today, and I don't know why. It just feels like a pop dot kind of day, I guess. We're going to glue this down. Well, take this down. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I got some smaller strips. I'm going to put some of the smaller strips here. Not that one. That one's going in the trash. That one can go here. Hope y'all can see all this. Keep trying to stay in focus and on camera. Sometimes I forget where the camera is, which is weird because I put it there, right? But you know how it gets. If you have a bubble in your tape, use it. Use it to your advantage to get that tape off. Went Sam's to buy 10 pounds of hamburger meat. Well, that's not what I went for. I went to buy meat. But I found 10 pounds of hamburger meat. And you know how much that cost? $50. $50 for 10 pounds of hamburger meat. I mean, that's crazy. I'm gonna call that one done, because there's not a lot to do with a cauldron. But I have my simmering cauldron here in my witch's hut with writing on the back. All these have the same back, so that's why I haven't been showing it off. So there's day 16, 17. Don't want to go too far. Here's day 18. We got a witch. A witch. She's a witch. I'm going to use this beautiful background for this. This is a 12 by 12. This is not one of my designs. You will not find this one in my freebie pack. This is not my design. I just want to make sure you know that's not my design. And that it will not be in the freebie pack. I was mistaken about that. I forgot I had one that wasn't. But all the rest, except for this one and the witch's house, will be in the freebie pack. And if you would like, I can give you the witch's house as a freebie next week. Just have to put it in some context. If that made sense. Didn't make sense to me, but you know. We're gonna use the scissors on this one because I don't want to cut up the whole sheet of paper. I hope y'all can hear me because I don't seem to talk very loud sometimes. Okay, got that. Now we're gonna put that paper away. Gotta remember to burnish, otherwise this glue does not want to stick. Okay, we got that on there. Turn it around. See, when it comes to these prompts, I'm very literal. Some people are doing, you know, great things, but my style is more, you tell me what you want and I do it. You say witch, I'm going to give you a tag with witches on it. I'm not going to create, well, sometimes I'm going to create an environment and a backstory or whatever to give it some context, but sometimes it's just like the number 31 that we did. Sometimes it's just going to be a bunch of 31s on a tag. Oh, forgive me, that was... My nose is kind of going off here. It's cold in this house because the temperature outside has decided it doesn't know what it's doing. That's normal for this time of year, though. You want to hear a weird story? So, yesterday was Sunday. Sunday, we got in the truck and we looked at the time and we said, what time is it? Because we wanted to go to Michael's and they don't open till 10. And we look at the clock and it's 8:30. And I stopped. I said, it can't be 8:30. My 9 o'clock alarm went off. So we look at our phones and it's 9:30. Yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday, when we got in the truck, the time was correct. We thought we had somehow had the November time jump, the fallback time jump. But no, it was just the strangest thing in the world at the time that my truck literally went back in time for an hour. So what I'm going to do with this is I am going to not round the corners because I'm going to put it down a little bit. I'm going to put this on with my other glue because I'm going to make it a pocket. I saw some things that I wanted to do with this. I'm just going to make, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do because I don't know where I'm going to put her apparently. I'm going to tack that down on the bottom. And up the sides to right here. I'm just gonna put it down on the back like that and then glue up my put it down on the paper that I want to use so that I know where it's going to be, and then put the glue down the sides like so, and do the same on the other side, and that will create our pocket. We're just going to take the paper we're going to use and slop it into place. Use your bone folder, burnish it down. What's wrong with you? Why are you not stuck? Give me a minute, I have to fix something. Press it down for a second or two. And then we will chomp off our edges here. Tonight, when the wifey gets off work, we are going to put our doggies in their Halloween costumes and go walk around Home Depot. We're socializing them so that, you know, they can go everywhere with us. Everywhere that they're allowed. We're not that kind of people. But yeah, we want to take them everywhere we're allowed to take them. Fit in real well, but it fits. And then here's some more tags. We're just going to shove a bunch of witch tags in the pocket. A bunch of little witchy tags going in the pocket. We're going to put her in the back because she doesn't want to fit down very far, which is fine. She doesn't have to. And we're going to put one of these smaller ones in the front. These two are the same. I don't want to do that. This one's different. So we'll put that one there. So we got this tag with a pocket holding 4 more witchy tags for witch. Ta-da! There's day 18. We're at 53. We're a little far behind than I wanted to be, but we're not too far from the finish line. Day 19 is vampire. Ooh, one of my favorites. Let me put the witches away. Let me gather up all the witches. They're everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a witch. You wouldn't know it, but there is. Take that how you will. Vampire. So I created this background for the vampire. Little vampire looking back. Everybody puts vampires with red and black. I want a blue and black vampire. I'm gonna have to create my own blue and black vampire stuff. Of course, blue and black doesn't scream vampire because Hollywood and everybody else has projected it as red and black. That's okay. I mean, if I were a vampire, I wouldn't want my wardrobe and furnishings to scream vampire. Scare people off. What's wrong with you? And yes, I've thought about the vampire thing a lot because I used to do vampire roleplay on a forum online. And it was really fun. I enjoyed every minute of it. Ugh. Every time I'm on camera, I yawn. I don't know why. It's weird. Not even tired, y'all. I promise. It just seems like that because I I'm on camera. I must yawn, apparently. Okay. Come on, let go. I don't have a lot of fussy cuts for a vampire. I mean, what do you do with vampire? You just put a couple vampires on there, right? That's what I'm gonna do anyway. Because, like I said, I don't have a lot of extra fussy cuts and things for vampire. But, it's okay. We're just gonna trim this down to fit the tag. We're messed up a little bit. Oh, come on. Alright. Vampire. Nosferatu. Dracula. I can't think of very many other vampires off the top of my head. We have some Nosferatu images. Nosferatu with an F. We have this vampire in a coffin. And this cute little vampire with his little wine glass. So what I think I'm going to do, this is the father of all vampires right here. So he's going to go here. And then we'll put him as a pop-up right there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Some of these guys, you just gotta ignore me and don't do what I do. Make it a little fancier, because sometimes I'm out of ideas. You give me vampires as a journal and I've got you. I have got you. I can do that. Vampire is a tag, and this is what I've got to represent it. Because I didn't spend a whole lot of extra time getting extra stuff together like I should have. That's a problem. Okay, we got that. Cut it down. We might put a tag with it if I can find a good one. I don't have a whole lot of time left here, but I can spare a second or two to look for a tag. I mean a label. Skelly Grove, that's not it. Hotel Yellowstone. This ancient writing, maybe. Some witches. Arsenic. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the ancient writing because there's just not a whole lot right here off the top of my stash that's gonna be helpful. So I think I want this to go down before I put my pop-up, obviously, like this. Do I want to pop him up or just put him down? Do I even want him on there? Let's put him on there. I think that ruins the look of the tag though, doesn't it? I don't like this tag. It needs something and I don't know what. I'm going to come back to this one in another video. I'm going to figure it out and come back to Vampire in another video. I just don't like that one. So let's move on to day 20. Last one for the day. Mummy. I want my mummy. I can do mummy. Here's a background I made for Mummy. Mummy. I want my mummy. I don't know. And I don't know why it's British. English? Britain is a country. I know that. You don't call it, London's not in English. I mean, I'm making myself sound stupid, aren't I? London is in England. Which is a part of Britain? Is that how I'm... Is that correct? Did I do that right? Did I say that right? Or did I mess it up and make myself sound stupid? I'll stop talking about things one of these days. I'm going to learn something. Okay, we cut that off and put it aside. Off and put it aside. Cut that off and put it aside. Cut that off and put it in the trash. Ooh, that didn't go as planned at all. Goodness gracious. Cut that off and put it aside. That off and put it aside. Well, put the little tiny scrap in the trash and put that aside. Alright, that's close enough. Now, I have an idea for this. Let me see. Look right here. I'm looking right here, not finding it here. Gone. Y'all, my ribbons, my scraps, they gone. They are out of here. Oh, here we go. I can use that. Yeah, I can use that. Ignore the fact that there's dogs barking behind me. Enough. Okay, she's gone now. I'm gonna cut the, can I tear it? No. I'm gonna cut this into strips the long way. And dirty is better, because mummies are not clean anyway. Alright. We're gonna cut this into a couple of strips. There's easier ways to do this. Okay, I think 4 will be enough. And we're going to take our mummy, and 4 might not be enough. We're going to glue these guys down, both of them. In different spots. Okay, and then we're going to put the school glue or the craft glue away because that's no longer needed. We're going to take these, cut it into even smaller strips. I'm going to put some glue down. All willy-nilly. Crumple it up a little. And put it on there, maybe. And do it again. My dog is mad because the tiny dog was in here. My sister-in-law's dog is a Chihuahua. And my dog does not like her being in here. She thinks this is just for her and her brother, who she also does not like being in here. She was so mad when we brought that first puppy home. Not the one we have now, but let's not stick like that. Okay. Let me get out the Fabri-Tac. No, let me get out the blue bottle. Get the big boy. throw some glue on, because it's gonna stick whether it wants to or not. Yeah, I know that is an awful lot of glue that I don't need. Puff that up there like that. Puff some in there. Puff that like that. Will be fine. Yeah, 4 will do. And then scrabble some glue here. Take this. Rattly scrabbly. She's never been alone, my dog, Peaches. Well, for a little while she was. It was just her for a couple of years. And she enjoyed that immensely. She got all the attention. There was nobody else to distract her parents. And then we brought in Rex, and her world just collapsed. Oh my gosh, the world ended the day we brought in Rex, you would think. She absolutely hated that. She loved Rex. Hated that we had another dog. I'm trying to get this to stay, and I don't think it's going to stay where I want it to, but that's okay. Let me use my poker. Poke it down. She couldn't keep Rex. He just got out of the yard too much. He was not conducive to suburban living. He was a black-mouthed cur, Anatolian shepherd mix. And if you know anything about dogs, that breed is just, they're meant to be guard dogs for farms and such. They have like a 1.5 mile, 2 mile range that they like to patrol. So he would not stay in the yard. And he taught the others how to get out of the yard. We had to give him to a farm. There's our mummy tag. I'm not putting it in the book until it dries. I kind of like it. Got a couple of mummies poking out of some wrapping. Alright, so that's our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And make sure you come back next week when I will absolutely be finishing the vampire tag and doing the next 7 days. I hope to see you then. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, make sure you hit like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, so you can see more videos, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when I put out a new video. But I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support and your kindness and your love. And I love you guys. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.